In a previous video, I said this.
Straight line mission in an American city would be lovely. Far too easy, I reckon. Across Manhattan, you've got like 500 different perfectly straight lines already there.
In case you didn't know, Manhattan, like many American urban areas, has a grid system of roads. Crossing it in a straight line seems almost trivially easy, so I thought I'd give it a go. Don't even need Google Earth for this one. My hotel room has a fantastic piece of art on the wall, which gives me the layout of all the roads. There's so many that go all the way across. How hard can it be? The particular system in use here is roughly north-south avenues. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, Lexington Park, Madison 5th. Then 6th, 7th, and so on. The rest of them make a bit more sense. Okay, there are still a few more surprises. But thanks to this bit at the south end of the island, the pre-1811 road network, which doesn't follow the same grid, none of the avenues makes it from top to bottom. So what about the other direction? At right angles to avenues we have streets, and they make a lot more sense. This mess at the bottom also rules out any east to west lines through that area, which is just as well, because it wouldn't really be crossing the island anyway, more like cutting off the tip. And the first street of the grid proper is 14th Street. Although, what actually is this blocking 13th Street?
This is what that looks like up close. And if you're willing to jump these fences, I guess 13th Street is doable.
So that leaves us with potential straight lines from 13th Street up to around 130th, where the island starts narrowing again towards the northern tip. I decided to start looking at the edges, marking both ends of each street with their ease of access to the water. Green means no problem, it goes all the way to the edge.
Yeah.
Yellow means doable but more difficult or with minor deviations from a straight line. And red, messy or dangerous, use only if there are no other options. The final outcome, no marker at all, means that there is no access to the edge of the island. I was shocked how many of these there were. Most streets across Manhattan do not go to the edge. They're blocked by industrial docks, breaks in the grid towards the end, or highways going around the edges of Manhattan. Once I'd done this for every street, I just needed to match up the ends and see which ones reached the water on both sides. Here's what I found. This blew my mind. Not a single street cleanly spans Manhattan. The best bet is this one here, 55th Street. So this is the one I tried first.
Fucking time zones, man. This is Manhattan. I've made it to the far east edge of 55th Street. I'm just gonna put the GPS in my bag. I don't really need it today because I'm just following a pavement. So that goes in there, and it's pretty loud because running underneath me right now is a multi-lane highway. So that's how I managed to get to the edge of the island. So this balcony actually hangs over, and so I can actually get over the water. I start over here, and I'm going to be following the north pavement, or sidewalk, of 55th Street, all the way to the other side of the island. You'll see why I couldn't use the south side later on. And off we go. PJ Clark's kind of old as well. Whatever qualifies for old here. Bing! Quick pause in the middle. Say hello to one of the great straight line deniers. MetLife building.
The MetLife building, along with Grand Central Station, is the most unfortunate grid misalignment since Pete Mondrian sneezed. But it's not the only anomaly I'll be passing.
Broadway, Broadway.
My breakfast today is the local delicacy, which is kind of fermented fish. I wonder what percentage of Manhattan by area is road. Might be close to 50%. Times Square, Central Park, and that's crossing Broadway. One of my favourite Matt Parker videos was his graphing of Broadway, so check that out. Amazing how quickly you get past the high-rise stuff. I've been walking for about 30 minutes now. I spy a forced deviation ahead. Looks like a building site. Right at the end as well, there's the water. It's the last block. The last block. Okay, and deviation is 1 meter 20. Give or take. I was really hoping for the sub 1. So if you're going along the other side of this road, you get stuck here without jaywalking. But I'm on the north side, so I can do this. You can still see the pavement. I just watched the Storer GeoWizard collab video. Straight line across Manhattan. Attempt 1. I can double check on the GPS. I'm not sure how well the GPS will have done with all the buildings in the way. There's the track, 55th Street all the way across. And yeah, the GPS did not like the tall buildings around it.
The GPS trace was completely unsalvageable, but a manual approximation of the walked line showed a maximum deviation of around 1.6 meters at the building site.
Maybe we'll give 34th Street a go.
As well as a second chance at discovering a perfectly straight line across Manhattan, 34th Street is also much more culturally significant. It's the home of the legendary Empire State Building. If it was even barely possible, I had to try it.
And this is the edge of West 34th Street. You then got to cross over this road, and as easy as the rest of the line might be, this particular stretch does not have a pedestrian crossing on it. And it's a very busy road, so I'm not going to try that right now, at least. Perhaps when it's quieter.
I would have to come back early in the morning, so in the meantime I decided to explore. I visited the city's famous landmarks. Some past their prime, but others timeless. I crisscrossed the island, investigating some of the places I couldn't explore on Google Earth, and confirmed some of my endpoints, from unlikely red to piece of cake green.
some of the obstacles get pretty crazy. West 46th Street ends in a space shuttle museum on board an aircraft carrier.
Those who made it through, and those who hadn't.
Actually, the north pavement of 46th Street can take you along the pier beside the space shuttle, and instead underneath a retired Concorde jet. See if there are any good lines this way. Nope. Come back at 6 AM and it is not helped at all. It's still really busy. The one plus about doing it at this time is I am over the water already. The tide's come in. So, hello goose. That's one end done. Much better. Cool. If anyone's watching from the law, I just got a taxi across the road and we head up here. And we're already screwed. A building site that's completely overlapped the sidewalk. It looks like maybe a 3-meter deviation. 2, 3, and a bit. Well, 55th Street has already won. I'll look up when this building site is due to be completed though, because once it is, 34th Street can be tried again. Let's try and do the rest without deviating. And there's another deviation. Is this one going to be further? Let's see. No, that's fine, like 1.5 meters maybe. Haven't been going on that long, and it's 2 building site deviations. Maybe 34th Street is just too central, so there might just not be any times where there isn't something being built. To my right is the Empire State Building in all its, well, some of its glory. King Kong is hidden in the mist somewhere up there. It's almost not worth looking at today. Let's come back another time. My legs really started stinging. I managed to cut it when I crossed the fence at the start. Looks like I'm bringing America Pox back to Europe. Sorry guys. And another one. Oh, Christ. 3, 4. Yeah, 34th Street not doing so well. That's my local dry cleaners. The dog with a car on its nose. Oh, it's outside the children's hospital. That's kind of cool. As we come to the end, my battery just died. To be fair, that's done me all of 55th Street and a weekend of touring around. As I was saying, we approach the end. We once again barely squeeze it in. Let's just go this way. This is the line. Alright. Well, there we go. That's the 2 streets that go all the way across Manhattan that I could find. All the way from the Hudson River to the other one on the east side of the island. I don't know, let's call it the East River. The 34th Street North Sidewalk and the 55th Street North Sidewalk. I find that pretty amazing. Fibonacci numbers really are everywhere in nature.
So those are my 2 straight lines across Manhattan. Let me know if I missed one. I'll see you next time for some more American adventures.